dense fog blankets the cobblestone streets of Strasbourg. Morning mist curls around timbered houses as the city stirs awake. Market stalls creak under the weight of fresh goods. Horse hooves clatter on stone, and the distant call of crows pierces the cold air. Villagers emerge, murmuring greetings to neighbors, unaware that this day will fracture at their sense of reality. Frau Trophäa steps cautiously into the street, her pale face illuminated by the grey dawn. Her eyes dart nervously, yet her feet begin to move, slowly at first, almost hesitant, then with a strange insistence. Villagers pause, puzzled, whispering among themselves. Children peek from doorways, dogs bark, and some adults laugh nervously. But Frau Trophäa does not stop. Her movements grow frenzied, jerky, as if invisible strings pull her limbs against her will. One man steps forward, attempting to pull her back, but she jerks away, spinning in wild circles. Sweat glistens on her brow. Her breath comes in short, ragged gasps. Others in the street begin to mimic her movements, some with hesitation, others with a sudden compulsion. Within hours, the street is alive with people dancing uncontrollably. The rhythm is chaotic, discordant. Faces twist in grimaces, some smiling through delirium, others in panic. Feet pound stone. Bodies bump, stagger, collapse, and rise again as if possessed. Villagers try to intervene. Fathers grab daughters, neighbors clutch sons. But the dancers resist, jerking violently away, eyes glassy, sweat streaming down their faces. One collapses, then another. Yet a crowd of new dancers forms around them, drawn in by some invisible contagion. Guards are summoned. They attempt to forcefully remove the dancers, but even strong men falter, gripped by a compulsion they do not understand. Town council convenes in the dim chamber of the council hall. Torches flicker against rough wooden beams, casting long shadows. The mayor speaks in a hushed, urgent voice. Physicians pore over charts, examining trembling hands and reddened faces, debating whether this is divine punishment, a spiritual possession, or some unknown malady. Candlelight glints on ink-stained papers, anatomical drawings, and rudimentary diagrams. Their voices overlap, tension thick in the air. Outside, the cacophony of dancing feet grows louder, echoing through the narrow streets, an unstoppable storm of motion. As the plague spreads, panic rises. Families flee the streets, abandoning markets, homes, and pets. When others are pulled into the frenzied dance, screaming, laughing, crying. Children are caught mid-step, their tiny bodies propelled by a force they cannot resist. Merchants clutch wares, overturned carts litter the thoroughfares. The air is thick with heat, the smell of sweat, and the metallic tang of fear. Horses rear, neighing, slipping on wet cobblestones. The city teeters on the edge of chaos, a living nightmare framed in the broad daylight. The clergy step in. Priests, clutching crosses and chanting prayers, weave through the crowds. Some villagers kneel, hands raised, joining in spiritual supplication, seeking mercy. But the dancing does not cease. The contrast is surreal. Divine appeals meet relentless, unstoppable compulsion. Faces twist in confusion, fear, devotion, and delirium. The sun climbs, casting harsh shadows on the frenzied bodies. The streets shimmer with heat and movement. The sound is deafening. Pounding feet, gasps, cries, bells, and murmurs blending into a singular, ominous drone. Physicians grow desperate. They observe collapsed dancers, noting sunken eyes, open mouths gasping for air, trembling hands that cannot obey. Remedies are debated: physical exercise, music, exorcisms, herbal tonics, yet nothing abates the mania. Some dancers die, their bodies removed silently, quickly, as the living carry on as if their absence is unnoticed. The city's moral fabric strains under the invisible weight of the plague. By midweek, Entire neighborhoods are overtaken. Courtyards, marketplaces, alleyways filled with relentless motion. Vendors flee, leaving food to rot. Fires are left unattended. Sichuan. Some villagers claim they see spectral figures joining the dance, or that shadows twist unnaturally, mocking the chaos. The line between hallucination and reality blurs. Those not dancing feel a creeping dread, as if the very streets themselves conspire to pull them in. Children are swept along, their limbs jerking uncontrollably. Parents attempt to shield them, but the force is too strong. Sweat drips into eyes, burns. Faces turn red, lips cracked, tongues dry. The sound of pounding feet echoes off walls, mixing with frantic cries. At night, torchlight flickers over exhausted bodies. Some collapse in the dust, others twitch spasmodically, limbs flailing. Sleep is impossible. The compulsion persists, unyielding. As the plague continues, death becomes a constant presence. Corpses lie in side streets, hastily carried away by survivors, or panic escalates. Even the streets not overtaken by dancing are filled with whispers of curses, divine wrath, or unholy possession. Rumors circulate. The afflicted are being punished for sins, possessed by spirits, or cursed by unseen forces. Yet no one knows why Frau Trophäa began dancing, or why the plague is contagious. Over the following weeks, authorities implement measures. Dancers are isolated in fields, music played to channel the compulsion, prayers recited. Still, the dancing persists. Villagers collapse from exhaustion, some dying, others revived and pulled back into motion. The plague grows, unstoppable, spreading fear like wildfire. Observers note that some victims show strange contortions, faces twisted in a grimace that seems half ecstasy, half agony. Some claim glimpses of spectral hands guiding the dancers' movements, fleeting shadows that vanish when approached. The streets become a theater of horror. Bodies writhe, stumble, and spin in hypnotic rhythm, the line between life and death uncertain. Months later, the dancing finally subsides, leaving behind bodies, exhaustion, and a city traumatized. Authorities remain baffled. Physicians record the event meticulously, but admit defeat. Theories abound: divine punishment, mass hysteria, ergot poisoning, spiritual possession, or an unnameable force. None are proven. Streets remain scarred with memories of bodies collapsed mid-step, abandoned shoes, and whispers that still haunt the cobblestones. Years later, chroniclers recount the events with disbelief. The plague is marked in records as inexplicable, a cautionary tale. Folk tales arise. Spirits of the dancers wander at night, seeking rhythm to draw others into the same compulsion. Scholars debate endlessly. The truth remains buried, a dark testament to the human mind's fragility, the unknown forces that grip a community, and the thin line separating reason from madness. Strasbourg survives, but the story of the dancing plague endures, terrifying, inexplicable, and darkly beautiful. Shadows of those who danced remain etched into the collective memory of the city. The compulsion, the rhythm, the unrelenting energy of bodies in motion without purpose. It becomes legend. Some claim that on misty mornings, if one listens carefully, the faint echo of pounding feet and desperate laughter still rises from the cobblestones, whispering of a madness that refuses to die. And if you want to uncover more stories buried in time, hidden truths that history tried to erase, or subscribe now, like if you dare, and share this story with someone who loves the dark corners of the past, because the mysteries are endless and waiting. This is the